Okay, we're out here at St. Andrews Airport. This is a local event for me, and I've made no changes to the car. I just want to learn how to drive on these tires and get used to the car. Typical of our local courses, it's slalom, 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 hairpin, slalom, 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 hairpin, slalom, finish. So I should be able to develop my slaloms today. So follow along, and hopefully I can get better at these slaloms, because that's where Bridget beats me, honestly. Okay, I've walked the course, and it's slalom intensive, and it's like kind of chilly out today, so I'm going to run my low power settings. I'm going to go back to low power settings. But here's a map of the track. We start here, and you go out to the left, which is this here, and you go slalom, 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 hard over to the right, slalom, down to a hairpin around, slalom, over to another slalom, long one, and then slalom, slalom, slalom. This is a pinch here. These very tricky. This is going to be very tricky right here, and then around. The finish is going to be fast, because you come through here. Yeah, the finish is going to be very fast. Bridget is not here today. She told me that she's gonna go to nationals without any practice, and she's gonna beat me and then rub it in that she didn't practice at all and I did. So I'm gonna have to step up my game today.
In the Pink Panther and E-Mod with a 58115. Good job, Mark. Way to go, buddy.
Okay, the event's over. I managed to hang on to fastest time of the day, which was actually a big surprise to me because my times were not stellar. You know, I'm a big follower of Formula One racing, and this year a lot of the teams have been struggling with getting the tires to turn on. That's what they call it. Can't get them in to turn on, and I feel exactly the same way. I need these tires, like they need, you know, 120 degrees Fahrenheit to start getting really good grip, and unfortunately all I was able to get them to was 90 degrees. So, and I did all the tricks. You know, I used my skirt and I did my weaving back and forth, but I just couldn't get it. Just couldn't get them into that window, so the car was always skating around, and it was a very intensive, like cone intensive course. I guess the best way to describe it is that the racing line was very tightly defined by cones. So the cone spacing between, like in the slaloms, was pretty tight. It was only 22 paces, and then so you'd go through a slalom, you know, fairly, you got medium speed, medium speed slalom, and then there'd be another element, there'd be another element that was not that far beyond that slalom. So
there wasn't a whole lot of space to set yourself up for the next element. It was just like I say, it was, if you could get a GPS map of everybody's line, you'd see that everybody's line was probably about the same. And as a result of that, I just couldn't get any heat in the tires. Usually this car gets more temperature in the rear tires than the front tires because it's a little oversteery. But today it was the opposite. It was a little more in the front tires than the rear tires. And I think that's because the slaloms were all tight enough that it was just rapid back and forth. And I don't know, it just couldn't get into that window. So my time was nearly beaten by a stock class car. So yeah, that tells you something. But there was 45 competitors, and there was probably more than 100 cones knocked down today. Very cone intensive. One competitor, one long time, very experienced competitor, hit 11 cones. One person. And that was not like a wall of cones. That was just, you know, slalom cones going down and stuff, because it was very tight, and he was in a Corvette, so it was a very wide car. And anyways, whatever. I did the course design on this at this facility for 2 years, and I know how tricky it is. It's very tough. And I don't know, the last time we were here, it was awesome. Same designer as today. They did a fantastic job last time. I'm not saying that they didn't do a fantastic job this time, but for me and my car and the tires I have, I just couldn't get the car, I couldn't get those tires switched on today. So I'll take my FTD. It's the only thing I can celebrate from today. I think I drove fairly well. If I were to give myself a rating today, I'd give myself a 7, because I was fairly smooth. Now, that being said, maybe when I go over the video that I will show you somewhere either before this or after this, maybe my driving wasn't so smooth, but to me it felt like it was smooth. I had the car on its low power setting. I did not have it on rain setting, which is even less power. It was on my low power setting. So anyways, it was fun though. Car's great. It drove back onto the trailer. It had no hiccups today. And yeah, that's that. Okay, we'll see all of you in the next video. There's another event in a few weeks, and that one is up on a road course up in Gimli. That's north of here. That should be much bigger and more entertaining with big sweeping turns. So hopefully I have something more to show you then. All right, later. Bye.